Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to episode 4 of Cam's Conversations. Today I'm joined by Liam Woods-Williams.
Yeah.
We went to the same primary school, same secondary school, and we've newly just found out that both of our little sisters are best friends at Riddlesdown, so small little world. So, do you want to give them a bit of background about yourself, Liam, who you are, where you grew up, etc.?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Liam, I'm 22. Oh, that go off in the thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's alright. That doesn't matter. That's fine.
cool. Alright. I thought I was going to do all the stuff, but hey, we'll work that out. But yeah, I'm 22 years old. As I said, grew up, went to the same primary school, secondary school. Sort of hobbies that I did like acting, singing stuff. So I used to go to like, sort of in my spare time, I'd go to like a school, like a stage school on Saturdays. I used to do that.
Yeah.
And done university, studied drama,
Yeah.
graduated last year,
Okay.
and now I'm just kind of working full time
Wicked.
at the minute, whilst trying to look for work. So
Yeah. Wicked.
yeah,
Yeah. So, I think if we want to go straight into it, so my first question for you would be, if you'd like to elaborate on your mental health experiences growing up, maybe some events that have happened in your life that have had an effect on you, and how it affected your life at the time.
yeah. So I'd say for like a lot of my childhood, I was a fairly happy kid.
Yeah.
I think there are a couple moments sort of in my life where kind of events cropped up. You know, I was fairly, I'd say, like sensitive as a child. I was fairly emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
There are a couple of moments where that would kind of like be let out and stuff, like in primary school, especially. And I wasn't really sure what that kind of was. So it was just kind of maybe that I was just a little emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But there were sort of things that kind of happened in my life a bit further on that, you know, kind of affected my mental health, let's say, and sort of changed a lot in terms of like my family. So about year 11, my mum passed away.
Yeah.
Year 11.
Very sad.
And we were kind of speaking before, but it really affected me a lot, but it affected my sister a great deal. Because she didn't know about it until the next morning.
Do you want to tell the people how old?
So I was 15
Yeah.
when it happened, and my sister would have been 10.
So
About
sad, man.
10 years old.
So bad. It's like even you saying it yesterday. We'll give the people a bit of background. Me and Liam, admittedly, we had this conversation yesterday, right? But my laptop had a bit of technical difficulties, so we're refilming it for you guys. But even it's like I knew it was coming, but it still hits me the same way. Like, and I just think like honestly, it's crazy. Like, I was thinking about it for the rest of my day yesterday, and I just thought like, it was just horrible. But well, on behalf of everyone, I'm sorry for your loss, but please carry on.
Yeah, so I kind of go over the night a little bit, but my mum was, I'd say she was a fairly healthy woman, for part of her life, but then she kind of ran into a few heart problems. Sometimes I think part of it ran through the family. Like, she lost her brother to like a heart attack as well. Like, fairly would have been like fairly few years before, but like so I lost like an uncle to heart problems as well. And there were concerns like before, because she had a heart failure, maybe weren't I was like even younger. She had heart failure on the left side of her heart.
Okay.
So she had to stop working as a bus driver. That's what she used to do. So she had to give that up.
Yeah.
For a while until her heart kind of recovered. So it got to about 50% of what it, it is meant to be.
Yeah.
And it did. She recovered. We were like, okay, that's good. Like,
yeah, wicked.
Yeah, wicked. That's awesome. She's back to driving. She's doing what she loves.
Yeah.
And everything's kind of going back to normal.
Yeah.
And then, there were just sort of stuff cropping up. And then that night, she was getting the pains in her chest again, and they were like really bad. And they were saying, we need to take you to an ambulance. She's like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Just...
I can't. She's very, very stubborn. She's a very strong woman.
Yeah,
but we knew that it was something serious and that she needed to go.
Yeah.
Because she was like really in pain. Like I was in the next room and she's like there, like kind of scream, not like scream, but you can hear her like in pain.
Yeah, no. Must be horrible.
It's more than normal. So
yeah.
We're there and she's like, you need to go. And I'm sitting with her, and then she just kind of collapses. We're trying to sit her up, like don't try and like lie down, don't do anything, just stay up. But she couldn't. She had to lie down, and then after that was it. She was pretty much gone there and then in front of me.
I think one thing we said yesterday is that you there's one thing knowing that obviously your parents are gonna go one day.
Yeah.
But I think we said like to be so young is another thing, and then for it to happen in front of you is a whole different ball game. I don't think I know anyone who would have been through like that. That is honestly just mind blowing. Like 15 years old, and like you've just seen that happen. And what's the one thing we said yesterday is that out of all the years, it's never a good time, but for it to happen in that GCSE year, mate.
Yeah.
So, I'll let you carry on with the rest.
No, I just like it was just it's just such a weird thing to happen because you just don't think it's real.
No.
And you think you're just gonna wake up and it's still gonna be fine. But, that happened, and then ambulance came. My dad came because I was sort of like seeing my dad again from then at the time, and we like kind of got our relationship better and back to like what it was normally. Because he was like away for part of my life, and then while my mum was around, we actually got back into contact.
Okay.
And it was really nice, and I started seeing him again every Sunday. We sort of kind of get back, and now I'm like really great with my dad now.
Oh, wicked.
We're like even better than
before. Yeah,
but
wicked.
and he found out about the news, and he came down as well. But they sent her off in the ambulance, and then we got a call from the hospital basically saying that she'd already passed away before she got to the hospital, and they couldn't save her. So that was
crazy. Crazy. But
I think from probably all of that, what was probably the worst part was having to tell my sister the next day.
Yeah.
Because she was, as I said, completely oblivious to it. She was asleep during the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like imagine your mum being there. You wake up the next morning, and you have your dad and your brother just sat next to you saying she's not here anymore.
Yeah, she's not.
Yeah,
mate. That makes me cold. Like.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of them things as well. It's like there's one thing telling people when something like that has happened, but telling a 10-year-old.
Yeah, so
and that is your mum. It's like you don't even understand it at that age. like you don't understand death. You don't like that is like 10 years old is like you don't know anything. You don't know anything in this life at that age, but you had to pluck up the strength to actually like come out and say to her like that takes some strength, mate. Like genuinely, that is like phenomenal how you literally, because the other thing is how you were feeling at the time as well. And then it's like it's almost a bit added on top. It's like my sister is sleeping right now, but when she wakes up I've got to break this news to her that's going to change her life forever. Like I take my hat off to you, Liam. Honestly, I really do take my hat off to you. Do you want to go into how your school life was after that? How things that might have happened with your condition that you told me about, etc. Do you want to kind of give them the little pathway?
So, sort of that year after, it was pretty much school actually wasn't too bad. I think what I was saying to you before, like I was pretty good at just kind of holding it in.
Yeah.
I think part of it was like I needed to stay strong for my sister at the time. I said the way that having to tell a 9-year-old something like that, and the way she kind of reacted to that news, it really affected her. That's especially cool. At the start.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be strong for her.
Yeah.
Also I still had my GCSEs to complete. I still had stuff to do. So part of me was like, let's just get this year done. Let's get this GCSEs. Let's do well. Let's do it for my mum.
Yeah.
And then we'll just kind of see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
I did pretty well on my GCSEs.
Good man.
Got my A star, I think 5 A's, 5 B's, and a C. So
good man.
Pretty good. Yeah. Wicked. I was happy. With what I did.
So you
so then moving forward to A levels, I kind of struggled a bit.
Yeah.
And sort of what I'd kept, in for so long, kind of towards the end of those years, kind of just went out everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember a moment sort of speaking with my drama music teacher at the time.
Yeah.
I broke down in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I was kind of struggling, and in like some of my subjects, I felt like I was failing.
Yeah.
And I think what's important about like any sort of situation like that is to have a group, have a good support group around you. That don't necessarily, always come with like the hugs and everything. They're just there.
Yeah.
Like if you just need to sort of vent and let everything out.
Yeah.
They're just there just to listen.
Absolutely. Definitely.
So they really helped me in terms of where I wanted to go next.
Yeah.
In terms of university choices or whether I wanted to do like, apprenticeship stuff or like whatever I wanted to do, they were there to support it, and they actually helped me in terms of choosing my next uni. Uni.
Yeah.
Because my drama teacher actually went there and she recommended it.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not? I'm just going to go see what it's like. And it was great.
Wicked.
I had like some of my best friends there. So
that's wicked.
So yeah.
Doing drama, you say?
Yes, doing drama.
Wicked.
Same thing. But yeah, as you were sort of mentioning, at sort of points during uni, I had a couple of moments where I said I was struggling with a couple of things, and at first I thought it was just kind of nothing, or I maybe assumed that I had some sort of mental health condition.
Yeah.
It turns out that I thought I potentially had ADHD.
Yeah.
Which was the condition I thought I had. I kind of brushed it aside because I thought everyone kind of goes through the same thing, but they're like, they've got an essay, but they kind of put it away for a bit. And last day, it's like, let's do it all now. Like that's kind of a lot of people kind of just naturally do that, and it's not not something that's, you know, it might not have just been, oh, that's ADHD, like that is what you have, but it was like that, and sort of other little things that I think about now were kind of obvious, but to me they were still a bit like, is that really you, or is it just me being
borderline, isn't it? It's like you can't really make your mind up about it.
So I kind of went through my whole degree just not really like trying to check that out, and towards the sort of end of my degree, when I was all done, I thought, you know, why not just get it checked out? And I had to be given a form to like fill out, but funnily enough, I didn't actually fill it out completely, but they still ended up referring me anyways.
Wicked. So it's like a sign.
Yeah, it was more like, I felt like it was more like a test. They were like, oh, so you didn't fill it out.
Yeah.
So that probably means we need to refer you.
You know what? You might be onto something there, because that point that we was talking about, where you just brush stuff off, and like we said yesterday, I struggle from exactly the same thing. Like, you wake up in the morning, you're just like, I don't want to do anything, and you've got that long to-do list in front of you, but you still feel like you have nothing to do, and it's like you can sit there and you know this task has to be done, but you go on your phone, like I said to you that time I tried to send you that invite yesterday, and I said I had one sole purpose of coming onto my phone to get Liam's email address to send him an invite. 20 minutes later, I still haven't sent Liam an invite, and I'm just scrolling through my Instagram, and it happens all the time, and I'm just sitting there, and then you end up beating yourself up about it, and then you feel shitty, and you feel down, and it's just like that cycle, and like, it does cross your mind, like, is this normal? Do other people feel like this? But then you think, no, don't, because like what we said, you see people getting up early for a run after like 5 hours sleep, or you see someone just absolutely smashing workout left, right and centre, and you just think, maybe it is just me. So then I think it's important that, as someone who experiences that, and obviously you with your ADHD, I feel like it's important for you to know that there is people like me and millions of other people that are exactly the same. Like, that was definitely a sign. The doctors knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
Because, so like during the lockdown, like I was also kind of going through a fairly like depressive kind of point after uni, because like I said, I was still in that kind of area where I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
All I was doing was just working, and I was like, where is this going?
Yeah.
Like, I want to do things, but like my brain's like, should you? And all these kind of things are kind of cropping up. So I went kind of through therapy, and for a little bit, and it was all about talking about like how to kind of cope with low moods, and sort of CBT therapy, and sort of like understanding like when you kind of get into those feelings, and what does it feel like, and then what to kind of do to get that feeling, out. And I think at that time it was helpful.
Good.
And sort of in that I was telling them that I was waiting for to find out whether I'm doing like an ADHD sort of test.
Yeah.
I get a phone call from them saying, "Oh, you're actually meant to go to you were supposed to have a thingy today, like actual appointment today." I had absolutely no clue about.
Yeah.
Because I didn't fill out a form.
Oh yeah.
I'd like moved the address. I got a phone call from them like, "Oh, so you were meant to have a thing today?" I was like, "Oh, really?" I had absolutely no clue. So got it rescheduled to like, it was something like March 8th. No, it was like June. So then kind of fast forward to June, it was all video call.
Yeah.
Did something there.
Yeah.
I got my results back a few weeks later. Got diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah.
By presentation. So, which essentially the combined presentation part, if you don't know kind of what ADHD is, there's sort of, they kind of branches. There's two kind of different sides to ADHD.
Yeah.
You've got like inattentive and sort of hyperactive.
Yeah.
The hyperactive being, have all this energy running around, sort of like what a lot of people kind of diagnosing kids a lot. So kids get diagnosed quite easily with ADHD because, they have all this energy, abundance of energy, can sort of run around all day.
Yeah.
The inattentive side is kind of more, it's not really opposite, but it's more that you kind of struggle to focus with things. You'll start, you can start a lot of things, but never usually finish them.
Yeah.
You could be doing a task, you always get kind of distracted by other things. You can be kind of overwhelmed by other sounds or noises. So a lot of that is kind of that intensive side. So I have a kind of mixture of both.
Yeah.
So,
but you must feel. I think you must feel great now because it's that weight off the shoulders, knowing that it wasn't just you being lazy and you just not having the right work ethic. I guess it must be just like I said, it's just that push off the shoulders, just knowing when you and understanding when you feel like that from now.
Yeah.
You can point it out straight away and just say, look, this isn't just. I'm not doing it because I don't want to. I'm not doing it because it's just how I'm built up. It's just how it is. I guess you can be a bit kinder to yourself now.
Yeah. Definitely.
But one thing I thought about yesterday is that.
Yeah.
It's just another way. It's like another way of proving how strong you actually are as a person, because for you to be able to get through GCSEs, and especially uni where you've got a lot of essays and you have a lot of workload and you've got socialising and everything going on, for you to be able, you done well at uni, right?
P1.
Yeah, so you that. So it's just unbelievable. You didn't even know that you were struggling through that, and you're having these battles all throughout uni to say you're being lazy, this and that. But then you've still got that drive within you to actually just continue pushing and pushing and pushing. And you've done so well. You're at the back end of it now with a diagnosis for you to actually understand yourself a little bit more better now as well.
Yeah, I think as well. I'm still kind of trying to work out how to kind of best work with what I got as well. Trying out things, because a lot of time through my kind of, before even knowing, a lot of people just feel I'll just write a list, write this, write that, and I'm I'm telling you that will not work. I'll write this list, I'll start it, and I won't find it. It will go somewhere. It will get lost. If I write it down on paper, it's going to get lost in my room somewhere. Or if I put it on my phone, I'm never going to see it again.
No.
So
exactly that.
It might work out for some people to make a list, and sometimes lists do work. Other times they just don't.
No.
Don't work at all, because I'll look at the long list and go, where do I even start?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the case. Where do I even start? And sometimes it's start. And I'm but where?
I've got
where do I go?
I've got all these points, but I normally go for the easiest. Whichever is the shortest, just so I can get that one tick. That might just trigger my brain and just go.
I'll be
I've got a tick there. I can do another one. That's normally what I do. But I guess at uni, is there ever such thing as an easy essay?
No, never really. But then it's funny, because then the complete opposite end. If it's I have a day to do an essay, you won't see me apart from in the library. I'll just be away in the library, just tapping away, and I'll get it done. But it's trying to get that part just to happen
a bit sooner.
Earlier, and sooner. It would make a lot. It would just be a lot easier if I could work out a way to sort of have the motivation and sort of have that kind of alertness. Just do it a bit earlier.
Yeah, of course.
it's just like a lot of little things. Like sometimes my room is a mess, but then one day I'll just be like clear out the entire room, get it all done,
and then it's spotless.
Yeah, and then it will just like build up again, and then it'll go back, and then it's just like a kind of cycle.
Yeah. It's like a pendulum. Just dirty to clean, dirty to clean. But if it works, it works. Like,
and I don't think, I think if anyone that is listening does kind of have, like, you know, has ADHD or any sort of mental health, they shouldn't feel down that, you know, if their room isn't like the cleanest or it's a tip, like it will get done.
Yeah.
You can set yourself time to do that, but like don't feel particularly ashamed if you know, if you're looking at other, you know, you go to someone else's house, you're like, why is it so like
it's only clean because they've cleaned it because they know you're coming round.
Yeah, exactly. For most people, it's dirty and they're like, oh, my mate's around. Jump this behind the cupboard.
Next time you go, look in the wardrobe or look under the bed. I bet it's all there.
Literally.
Wicked. So that would take me on to my next question.
Yeah.
In these times where you've been struggling and kind of needed a shoulder to lean on, do you feel like your environment made you thrive, or did it just absolutely not help at all? Did you find yourself hanging around with good people, or did you find yourself creating bad habits and maybe hanging around people that you shouldn't be, or doing things that you shouldn't be, etc.?
I'd say I'd surrounded myself with good people.
Yeah.
A lot of, so I kind of had a couple groups that I was with, and it was nice because like my friends were good at like kind of just distracting me, especially at that sort of time, and kind of getting me away and just sort of doing things. I think if anyone's going through any sort of kind of tough time, and you feel like, you know, you don't want to be sort of alone, sometimes it's nice just, you know, go out with friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't suggest going to a park now because it's a bit cold, but sort of during that time, like especially in the summers, we, you know, go out to the park every day, go to the rec, you know, just chill out with mates, like, you know, have a picnic, just do something.
Yeah.
Because it can just be a nice kind of get away from everything.
Absolutely.
If you are sort of by yourself, try and, you know, distract yourself with hobbies that you do. You know, like if you just, you know, enjoy music, if you watch videos, like just do something.
Just to take that mind off of it, right?
Yeah, just take the mind off. Like it is okay to sort of sit in your mind and sort of think about things, but it's not healthy to do that all the time.
No.
That can have a great kind of toll on you. So
it can.
Kind of going back to it, I had a good group of friends, especially like friends that had similar hobbies and similar interests as well. That can always help. You know, like with drama and music, like I'd hang around with those guys a lot, and most of it would be, let's sing something, you know, do something together. If we were outside, we would just hang out. So
that's all right then.
Yeah.
So you felt like that helped you thrive at that time to help get you through everything that was going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Wicked.
They were just kind of there. I don't remember too much of like the weeks going back, but I know like that first kind of few weeks before going back to school, that first week before, it was a very weird kind of it's just a very strange kind of mix, because, you know, it's just like you have the wake, you have everything, and then you just kind of go back. To school like it's normal, and you're trying not to really think about it, and you don't really want people to be like, you know, kind of surround you. And you're just like, no, I want to get on. But
it's like
all,
we what did we say yesterday? It's like kind of when that happens, when there's like when a tragic event happens, and obviously it's so lovely that people like care for you and wanna give you the attention.
Yeah.
But I feel like subconsciously all it's doing is just reminding you of what has gone on. So sometimes I think it could even be better to actually just listen in your private time. Help me as much as you want, but when we're in this big public place, let's act like nothing has happened, because I feel like that's what's gonna trigger my brain to feel like this is back to normal. And this is gonna help me get through the day. Like, another thing, do you feel going back to school helped? Because Jimmy, I don't know if you watched the episode with Jimmy. Jimmy lost his mum early as well.
Yeah, I think I actually I do remember that as well, because I think it was roughly around the same time.
I believe so. Because he was. You're 2 years above me. So it must have been. It must have been around the same time.
Roughly around the same time.
So do you feel like going back to school helped you take your mind off things, or did you just find that you might be in a lesson, or you was just zoned out, just like thinking about it?
Yeah, I think so. I think in some ways it does help. Like, had that week or so, or however long it was, just to kind of go through the stages, have the way, sort of speak to the family and sort of have our togetherness. But I think there's a time where you kind of have to kind of go back, because you'll end up, if you don't go back, there's no one really to kind of speak to outside of that school time. You'll just end up being by yourself, and that can kind of have a negative thing, especially when you've been around your family for so long, family for a week, and then it's just you, and all you potentially thinking about is your mum, or the relative that you could have passed away. So it is kind of, I think, good to go back, but there's no rush at all to going back. I know for some people it works, so only need a couple of days and go straight back, but for some people it could be weeks, and that should be okay. And I think, I'm not sure, I think schools do fairly well in that sort of situation to be like, look, you take all the time you need, and you come back when you're ready, and we'll be there to support you as soon as you're back.
Absolutely, so that's good. All right, wicked. What's my third question? My third question, right? This is the $1 million question, Liam. This is the one that people are waiting for. If you could go back now, and give advice to struggling Liam, what would it be?
I would say, for one, don't try and hold things in for so long. Try and find a way to kind of release any sort of emotional tension that you have. I think, kind of looking back, I was trying to be so strong for so long that I didn't really let myself at times have that moment to sort of grieve myself,
taking what happened, right?
And kind of taking what happened. So I think that's a kind of big advice. I think that's kind of the main thing.
Don't hold stuff in, and if you feel like you need to get it out, because I think that's one thing for anyone who has spoken out before. I think the one thing that they can definitely vouch for is how good it feels to actually just listen for 10 minutes. If you just sit there and just let me transfer this over and just get it out, you don't even need to say anything. But even just you listening, just you being here is just enough, because it's just like that's such release. It's just like it's all gone, And then when you leave that, you feel that sense of like fulfillment. You're just like, oh, I finally did it. Like it's finally out.
Yeah.
But obviously, the more you hold it in, the more you hold in.
Yeah.
So the more, and it's just adding and adding and adding, and then don't let it get to like breakdown point for you to actually talk up about how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Make it like a normal trend.
Yeah.
To speak about how you feel and do it with pride, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think because I think as well, like in this kind of modern day, people are kind of afraid to sort of speak about how they feel.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that's maybe deemed too deep.
Yeah.
Or
no such thing.
There's no such thing. There's no too deep.
Exactly.
Everyone goes through the highs and lows, and you could be going through the highest of highs while your mate could be going through the lowest of lows.
Exactly.
But that shouldn't mean that because you're going through the highest of highs, they can't speak to you about how they're feeling.
Exactly.
Because that wouldn't like ruin your mood.
Yeah,
like it's not going to ruin your mood per se, because it's got nothing to do. At the end of the day, how they're feeling doesn't necessarily have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
You should, in some ways, be, they're coming to you for support.
Yeah.
So, like, as a friend or as someone you should try and be there for them.
Yeah.
As much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Through sort of any stage, because if you're with a group of friends, you're not always going to be happy. No one's going to be happy 24/7.
No chance. It's impossible.
No. So, you've always got to pick yourselves up and help each other out. Yeah.
Wicked. Definitely. I think that's a very nice note to finish it on. Well, from me, and I'm sure on everyone watching, I just want to say well done to you, mate. To be honest, like it's so inspiring to hear everything that you went through, and for you to be on the flip side of it, and doing so well in everything you've done. Like smashed GCSEs, smashed all of your drama work, smashed uni, and to even have the courage to come on and actually talk about what's happened. And I'm sure your family will watch this, like your little sister will probably watch this and look up to you as the role model that you are, and just be like so relieved that you feel like you're in a position where you can help others from your story. So on behalf of me, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate you having me on.
That's alright, no, anytime, man, honestly. And to the people, thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate it so much, and obviously I'm sure you can vouch for it. Liam's story is quite simply amazing. Make sure you check him out. I'm going to leave his Instagram in the description below. No matter what platform you're watching on, please share it, please subscribe, like it if it's on YouTube, and just get us out there, man, because things like Liam's story need to be heard, because I'm sure there's many people that have been through something similar to Liam, and it might be able to help them seek help, or even just from listening to Liam's story, it might make them feel a bit better about their situation. So from me and Liam, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much, Liam. See you soon, buddy. Take care, bro.